Good afternoon, buenas tardes, bonsoir, guten tag, boa tarde, good day. And it's my absolute pleasure to be here and to introduce you to the Foment Accelerator 2020.
We'd like to introduce the Honourable Tim Whetstone, the Minister for Primary Industries and Regional Development SA, launching Foment 2020. Thank you, Minister.
Welcome to the launch of the Foment 2020 conference. We are in unusual circumstances through COVID-19, but these virtual presentations today will be a sign of the times. The state government is absolutely stoked to be again supporting the initiative after a very successful inaugural year in 2019. It's also really important that we have a strategy, and my AgTech advisory group have developed a strategy that will encompass all sectors, particularly the wine industry, in moving forward so that the wine industry here in South Australia is the envy of the world. And for that to work, we need the collaboration, we need the strategy, we need Foment 2020. Good luck.
Thanks, Minister Tim Whetstone, for supporting our launch of Foment 2020. And now it's my absolute pleasure to introduce Nick Waterman, the Managing Director at Yalumba.
Well, thank you, Carla, and welcome to Yalumba. I think, firstly, what I would say is, we need to recognise the importance of the wine industry. So, as an industry that contributes $45 billion of gross output to the Australian economy, it's the fifth largest agricultural export that we have, behind beef and wool and lamb and others. And it employs over 160,000 people directly in winemaking and grape growing.
So I can see the advantages of tradition and I can see the advantages of technology. What I'm concerned about is the potential for technology to obscure tradition, because I think one of the things that wine has going for it over any other agricultural pursuit, and I'll get into trouble with the other drinks producers here, is that it is bottled poetry. It is magic.
Our roving reporter, Christina Belperio, adventured herself into McLaren Vale to interview Chester. And she brought us this amazing interview on why tech should meet the wine and arts. Let's watch.
So tell me, Darrenberg, obviously its primary purpose is to make and sell wine, but you've turned it into something much more. And we all know about the Cube, but it's also more than just a big building. What have you done at Darrenberg in terms of technology to engage customers?
So I really wanted to capture everyone's imagination. I wanted to make a place that was iconic and everyone had to come there. And now a lot of buildings are iconic on the outside, but on the inside they're really quite boring, like an office block or whatever. Yeah. But I actually wanted to have the whole inside really immersive. So even as you walk up the row of the vines, you can hear technology going. We've got a weather station measuring the different parameters of weather. So 8 parameters of weather are being played in real time as sound. So that's sort of quite cool.
How has the Foment 2019 changed Cellar?
So in a nutshell, I guess Cellar is a connected packaging platform for the wine industry. And in regards to how Foment changed us, I mean, it's a significant change, right? And we participated in the program as a travelling company from the West. And the fact that we had this world-class network available to us from the wine industry that created these opportunities that are extremely difficult to do on your own. So we also got to work alongside some seriously great entrepreneurs in the form of the other participants. And we got challenged along the way. And that was really to prove that we knew our stuff. And I believe some of those really hard conversations, mainly with Darren, were not only productive, but they allowed us to rethink where we needed to in line with pure industry experience. So combine that passion, the passionate facilitators and the brilliant facilities, it's a recipe for success, right? And we urge any wine tech company thinking about applying to go ahead and do so with confidence.
I've been looking at air traffic in China, and China looks like it's gotten really busy. So we have a challenge given that Australia's within its borders barely moving. What sort of things should we be thinking about in terms of engaging in China?
I think when we look at the bigger picture, and this is some of the data from the IMF that was recently released, that China's economy is actually going to grow by 1% this year. And this is in comparison to how a lot of other countries are going backwards. America, for example, I think their economy is going back by 8% this year. So China is still growing. So on a national level, I think the worst case scenario for China is that it won't grow as much as it used to. But it's certainly still growing by a lot of research. So I think the business activities are still happening. As you said, I think a lot of businesses are now resetting themselves, refocusing on their goals. So I think there's still a huge growth opportunity for a lot of Australian brands. But certainly on a granular level, if we're talking about individual exporters, they will be having a challenging conversation with a lot of their partners in China in terms of the volume and certainly payment terms. But if you look at the overall bigger picture, I think China is actually looking pretty good this year.
We're really interested in hearing, because with you being right at the front edge, and in some ways Australia having experienced lockdown and COVID quite differently to the rest of the world, we're really curious to hear what you think is going to change very, very quickly from the point of view, I guess particularly customer relationships actually.
Yeah, so it's funny because, of course, I'm here locked down in Spain, but I live in New Zealand, which, like Australia, has had such a profoundly different experience with lockdown. I think that the thing that we've seen that is the most long-lasting trend is wineries understanding that digital is a part of marketing. For a long time across industries, there's been this discussion of digital marketing, and they like to bolt it on. And they think that it's as simple as flicking up some post here or, some YouTube videos there, without actually understanding that it's all the boring stuff that helps you build relationships with your customers, that helps you acquire and retain people who are going to be with your brand for the long time. I mean, we have a mantra that is that digital done right actually makes our audience more human, not less human.
Join our revolution, join our wine tech and tourism tech revolution, a world first. So please join our community. We'd love to hear from you. That's it for me tonight. It's been a pleasure, and I'll look forward to hearing from all of you out there. Over to you, Darren.
Thank you, Carla, and it's been great fun being with you tonight. This is what happened when we sat down and said, how on the earth are we going to launch Foment 2020 when we can't go anywhere? So this is our crack at doing an online launch. We've had a lot of fun. Thank you for coming. Glad you could be here. Signing off.